I'm Dominique Portet. I'm from Bordeaux, which is on the southwest of France, and a region which is very well known for making wine. I did my studies in Montpellier. I'm the ninth generation of people of family making wine. My son Ben is number 10. It's a long lineage, if you like.
I think I've grown up in wine. I think I've got wine running through my veins, but when we're working with my father and we're trying to push in the same direction to make the best wine we can, I think that's quite rewarding. We're always looking at those little 1%ers. I think that's really important. I think that's a really exciting time to be making wine in the Yarra Valley particularly.
The essence of a very good wine, in our context, winemakers, is to make sure the wine has beautiful scent, aromatic, structure, and length. This winery, I brought the land in 2001, so it's been about 20 years today. And we choose the Yarra Valley because of the connection with Bordeaux, the connection with the grapes.
On our property here, we have a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon, Bordeaux varietals. So Cabernet Sauvignon, Petit Verdot, Malbec, Merlot, Cabernet Franc performs particularly well. We have a little bit of Sauvignon Blanc that is fermented with barrels, so a richer style. We work in the cool altitudes for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and then the warmer sites will tend to be more full-bodied reds or the Cabernet Sauvignon and family.
We see ourselves very Australian, but with a French edge. And Benjamin, which is, for example, the generation number 2, he'd be more, if you like, on the Australian side that I would be, but he's also very strong on the French edge.
Here we're in the Coldstream vineyard, so you can see under vine, it's quite hard, but there's a lot of clay here and broken down sandstone. The interesting part here, we're not using any herbicides, so we've eliminated herbicides in the vineyard. In terms of fermenting wine, and we're all achieving the same goal there, but the equipment and the technology that's coming with it now is that you couldn't dream 20 years ago. So we've got some of the most highly sought after equipment for producing fruit in Australia, but it really, I think, finds those 1%ers and increases the quality. And then it's all about, I guess, the vineyard and respecting the soil and the vines in their certain area or climate, what the French call terroir. I think that's something that Australians will be able to be proud about going forward, and certainly for us, is just increasing the quality every year. That's what we're always chasing.
The way to grow grapes here in Australia is not as easy as it sounds. In February, when the grapes are ripening, it may be that you can pick up 1% of sugar within about 2 or 3 days. If you pick too late, you are losing you miss your vine. And don't forget, we have 1 year to grow a vine. So we make sure that when the time is right, bang, we need to pick it up at that time.
I think over the last 5, 10, 15 years, particularly for varieties like Cabernet Sauvignon, on the areas where we are now in Coldstream, it's getting easier to ripen. So when every 5 vintages was more difficult to ripen Cabernet, now every year, very consistent. I think that's quite an exciting time for Australian wine, that we can really find the varieties and grow the right varieties in the right climates and right soil types. So I think that'll be a big evolution in the next 10, 20 years for sure.
I selected to make sparkling wine because I did train à Moët-et-Chandon in Épernay, in France. And I like bubbles, I have to say that. I like la bulle. I like that kind of wine, which is very refreshing. I usually drink sparkling wine as an aperitif, and that pushes you, when you have some very good acidity here, it pushes you to drink another glass, and another glass, and another glass. And once the bottle is gone, I'm happy with that. So that's what I was saying. The idea for us is people to come and to flow with the building. The way it's set up, a very simple building because it's only a rectangular building, But what was interesting is the doors. The idea from that come from a little town called L'Espar in the middle of Korea, in Bordeaux. And they are, I think, made the attraction. I brought in a fountain which I had designed in France. If you go to a few villages in the south of France, you will find every village has a fountain. And it's nice to be, well, in a village, it's nice to be seated on the margelle, on the stone. And it's very pleasant to talk to your neighbor, to whatever it is. It's a very nice spot. It's usually in the center of the little village. And I think most of the people have a very good reaction with that. Yeah, I think the fact of being French in Australia has an advantage. We believe that food and wine goes very well together, and they are made to complement each other. That's a great advantage.
Sometimes you sit back and you kind of think about how your grandfather used to do things, but I think that's the exciting part of winemaking, is that there's a real generational hand-me-down of stories and ways of and techniques of making wine, but I can also cut my own future as well and hopefully set us up for the next generation.
I think I've been very lucky to be in Australia, and I've been here now for 40 odd years. I mean, Australia is a gem. Obviously, I could have stayed with my background in France and make wine in France, and I would have been respected, and all the rest of it. Could have done very well, of course. But I think in Australia, the future is greater. And I'm pretty sure that the essence of a winery like ours is to make sure that we follow the trend, we make better wine, and our generation, our kids, will get onto it in a very nice way. So it's a great advantage to be in Australia, without a doubt.